What happens when one of the most hyped rookies in WNBA history decides she's had enough of the critics? What happens when the Indiana Fever, once written off, step onto the court with a chip on their shoulder and a point to prove? And what happens when that fire burns so bright that it silences even WNBA giants like Brittney Griner without her even being in the game? Caitlin Clark just changed the narrative, and the Indiana Fever made it loud and clear in their revenge win over the Atlanta Dream. Stick around, because this one's got heat, hot, and a heavy dose of humility for the doubters. After a shaky start to the season and a lot of noise from critics, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever stormed into their game against the Atlanta Dream with something to prove, and they did just that. The Fever didn't just win, they made a statement, a bold one, that echoed far beyond the final buzzer. The matchup had the energy of a playoff game. From the opening tip-off, Caitlin Clark set the tempo, fast, aggressive, and fearless. She was dishing out crisp passes, draining threes, and playing with the confidence of someone who has clearly settled into the league. It was no longer about adjusting to the WNBA. It was about taking control of it. Let's rewind for a second. Earlier in the season, the Fever faced off against the Phoenix Mercury, where the presence of Brittney Griner loomed large, physically and metaphorically. That game didn't go in Indiana's favor. The critics pointed fingers, analysts questioned Clark's leadership, and social media, well, it exploded with doubt. But here's the thing, elite athletes don't forget. Caitlin Clark didn't talk trash, she took notes. And tonight, against Atlanta, she turned those notes into one of the most complete performances of her rookie campaign. With 24 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds, she orchestrated the game like a seasoned vet. She wasn't forcing shots, she was creating them. And the Atlanta Dream had no answers. This was more than just a win. It was redemption. The Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever duo that everyone doubted, they're becoming the most talked about storyline in the league. And what makes it even better is that they're doing it their way, with resilience, chemistry, and growth. Now let's talk defense. Indiana came into this game knowing they had to shut down Ryan Howard and Alisha Gray, and they did. The Fever's defensive intensity was unmatched, swarming on every possession, rotating like a well-oiled machine. Aaliyah Boston was an anchor in the paint, racking up blocks and boards, proving once again that she's the perfect partner for Clark's perimeter wizardry. The chemistry between the two is growing game by game, and tonight was a clear example of what this duo can become when they're locked in. Even without Brittney Griner on the floor. Yes, she wasn't in this particular game. Her name loomed over it. Why? Because this wasn't just about Atlanta. It was about the league's respect. About silencing not just the team that beat them, but the voices that doubted them after that loss to Griner's Mercury. And let's be clear. Brittney Griner WNBA dominance is undeniable. But what Clark and the Fever just did was send a message. One that says, we're coming. And next time they meet Griner head-on, it won't be the same story. Fans in Gainbridge Fieldhouse were electric. You could feel the momentum shift with every basket, every defensive stop. Chants for Caitlin echoed louder than ever. And for the first time this season, it felt like the Indiana Fever had fully arrived. Coach Christy Sides deserves a lot of credit. She trusted her young core, made smart rotations, and allowed her stars to play free. There's a belief forming within this team, and it's contagious. Now let's break down a few crucial moments. With 4, the Fever walked off that court not just with a W, but with momentum. The kind of momentum that changes seasons. What's next for Clark and company? More matchups, more pressure, and likely more doubters. But at this point, that seems to fuel them more than it slows them down. So if you thought Caitlin Clark was just a college phenomenon, think again. If you thought the Indiana Fever would struggle all year, stay tuned. And if you thought Brittney Griner and the WNBA elite wouldn't be challenged by the next generation, well, tonight might have just changed your mind. If you loved this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more WNBA fans find this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more fearless, fast, and fresh takes on your favorite players and teams. We'll keep bringing the heat all season long.